I always thought marriage was about trust, compromise, and building a life together. I believed in us, my wife, Clara, and I. We had been married for 8 years, and on the surface everything seemed fine. We shared a home, a routine, and even the occasional adventure, but lately, I'd noticed a shift. She seemed restless, distracted, distant. At first, I blamed work stress or fatigue, but deep down, I sensed something more troubling brewing beneath the surface. One evening, over a quiet dinner at home, Clara finally voiced it. "I don't feel free anymore," she said, stirring her pasta without meeting my eyes. "I feel like we're stuck, like we're holding each other back. I want to explore life differently." I blinked at her, unsure if I had heard correctly. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice steady but laced with worry. She took a deep breath and said the words I never expected, "I want an open marriage." The silence that followed was suffocating. I couldn't process it. My mind raced with questions, disbelief, anger, and heartbreak all at once. "You want what?" I asked, my hands gripping the table. She nodded, her expression calm, almost serene, as if she had rehearsed this moment countless times. "I want to feel free, to experience things without limits. I love you, but I also need more." I stared at her, my chest tightening. I had loved Clara with everything I had, trusted her implicitly, and shared my life without reservation. And yet, here she was, asking for permission to essentially be with other people. The betrayal stung, even though she framed it as a search for freedom. "You're asking me to, okay that? To let you sleep with others?" I couldn't bring myself to finish the sentence. Clara's eyes were pleading, patient. "Yes. I think it could make us stronger. Or at least, happier." I realized then that our visions of marriage were incompatible. Where I saw fidelity and partnership, she saw constraints and monotony. I felt anger rise, but beneath it, a strange clarity. If her idea of freedom meant breaking the bond we had built, then the marriage I valued no longer existed, not in the way I believed it should. That night, I slept in silence, pondering what freedom really meant. For her, it seemed to be a license to indulge in desires without consideration for our vows. For me, freedom meant honesty, respect, and the ability to walk away from what corrodes your soul. I couldn't reconcile the two. The next morning, I spoke with Clara calmly, though my heart ached. "I've thought about what you said," I began. "And I've realized something important. Freedom isn't about bending the rules to suit your desires. It's about being true to yourself and the people you care about." She looked at me, curious, perhaps expecting resistance, tears, or pleading. Instead, I continued, "If you need to feel free, I won't stand in your way. I won't trap you in a marriage that doesn't make you happy." Clara's face softened, a mixture of relief and surprise. "So, what are you saying?" she asked. "I'm saying, you're free," I said firmly. "Through divorce." The word hung in the air like a thunderclap. Clara's eyes widened, a faint flush of shame coloring her cheeks. She opened her mouth, probably to argue, to negotiate, but I held up a hand. "I mean it. I won't try to control you, I won't beg, and I won't stay in a marriage that doesn't align with either of our values. You want freedom? Here it is." The following weeks were surreal. Papers were signed, attorneys consulted, and the legal process unfolded with surprising civility. Clara seemed almost buoyant, as though a weight had been lifted from her shoulders, while I felt a quiet determination settling in me. I grieved the loss of what we had, but I also felt a strange relief. The dishonesty, the conflict, the threat of betrayal, it was gone. Freedom for her, yes, but also freedom for me. Freedom from compromise that violated my principles. During the divorce, I reflected on the concept of freedom. True freedom, I realized, is not about chasing every whim or disregarding commitments. It's about living authentically and making choices that honor your values. Clara had chosen her freedom selfishly, but I chose mine deliberately. By stepping away, I reclaimed control over my life, dignity, and emotional well-being. Months later, we finalized everything. Clara moved into her new apartment, redecorated it in her taste, and seemed content in the way she had envisioned. I remained in the home we had shared, keeping only what memories I valued and discarding the rest. The absence of her presence, once unbearable, became a space for reflection, growth, and the beginning of a life I would rebuild on my terms. I never blamed her entirely. People are complex, desires shift, and sometimes love isn't enough to bridge fundamental differences. What I couldn't accept was a version of marriage that required sacrificing trust, honesty, and fidelity for the illusion of liberation. I didn't punish her, I didn't scheme or retaliate. I simply honored my values, and in doing so, gave both of us the freedom we sought, her to pursue her desires, and me to preserve my integrity. Looking back, the moment she asked for an open marriage was devastating, but it also clarified something crucial. Love without alignment in values is no longer love, it's compromise that erodes the soul. By granting her freedom through divorce, I didn't lose, I gained clarity, self-respect, and a renewed vision of what I would accept in a partner. Freedom isn't given, it's chosen. And in that choice, I found mine.